All right. And you are definitely an asset here to the Dealer Inspire team. So,
Aw,
why don't we get to the good stuff?
cool.
Yeah. We want the
So, yeah.
control of the force. Okay.
Sean, if you go ahead and go to the next slide.
Okay. Here we go. All right.
So one of the reasons that notifications is, I wanted to take this time to talk to you guys about notifications because it is really important, right? Um, this is a tool, and I'm going to demo this in a second here, but this is definitely a tool that allows you to start seeing customers on your website. So these are people who have already shared their information with you and kind of taken that step towards the trust, right? Like they want to start doing business with you. So as they come back on your website, now we'll be able to notify them. You already received the lead from what they were interested in, but now as they revisit your site a number of times, as they start doing their research, now it's nice that we can go ahead and notify you of those things, right? So that would allow you to kind of engage with that customer quicker, right? Along with that, you'll be able to view their activity on their website. And some of the things that we've been seeing with notifications, when dealers install the Dealer Inspire tools into their culture of their dealership, they're actually able to save deals that may have been marked bad in their CRM because of this. So think about that, right? So when you call a customer and they said, well, I've already purchased somebody else, and all of a sudden you start seeing them back on your website, well, you know that they may have been just kind of, blowing smoke or trying to get, you to just stop calling them or whatever. So now it's kind of, that's a tool to kind of say, hey, you know what, my CRM marked this as bad, but now I see this person is active. So they've been able to save deals because of that. So that tool alone has allowed you to kind of just do that, right? And then I'm going to also show you something that allows you to get more context around the lead. Typically, what we'll end up doing is just sending, the required information, right? First name, last name, email, phone, maybe address, depending on the lead type and things like that, and maybe the car or the vehicle that they were interested in, those kind of pieces. But we're also able to I'll give you more context around that lead that would help you kind of start building that relationship quicker with the client.
Oh, okay. All right. So, you know what, the more context. All right. Can you expand on the more context principle here and kind of let everybody know what you mean by that?
Yeah. So one of the things that like everybody has a social media account of some sort today, right? Like we have, Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Clouds, we have these kind of social networks and things like that are out there, right? So, and then your customers are posting on these networks, and they're sharing information about their lives that's pretty personal, right? Like sometimes, they may be sharing things about their kids or, kind of their situation or something cool that's going on, right? And posting things on Twitter, right, which they're interested in, and kind of sharing content and things like that, or connecting with other their friends and things. So that's context, right? So that's social context that's out there in the world that your customers are freely sharing, right? Well, then we have other things too, like Dadium, right, which is kind of an industry-specific tool. Dadium is, if you're not familiar with that, it's a tool that's installed on about 12 or 13,000 different automotive marketing, or excuse me, automotive research websites. So tools like Car and Driver, excuse me, sites like Car and Driver, Autoblog, these types of services, and even Auto Trader, these kind of things they're all built into that, right? So Dadium, what happens is that when customers are starting to research their purchase, they start doing that on those types of sites, right? So what happens is that Dadium then pixels them or drops a cookie on their browser and starts following them, their activity around, while they're doing this research. And then because we're a Dadium partner, the Dealer Inspire platform will, when somebody drops to the website, what we do is we ask Dadium, say, hey Dadium, do you know anything about this customer? And they'll return and say, oh yeah, we do. We know that here's the last three vehicles that they were interested in, here's the price point, and it will even score the lead for you on a 5-point scale and say how active the customer been in their research. So we have things like that allow us to bring more context in too. And then to that point too, we also have some Dealer Inspire logic behind that too that helps, and we can share that stuff with you too. And some of that is personalization, so our personalized websites, those types of pieces that we're happy and really excited to unveil at this coming NADA, actually next week.
Yes.
So if you're going to NADA, then you should definitely stop by the booth, and I'd love to show you some personalization. That'd be awesome. So it's a little bit out of the scope of what we're talking about today, and in the interest of time, I just didn't want to kind of get into that. That's a whole different topic altogether. So
Okay. All right. Well, that's yeah. That I know that Dadium and Cloud are definitely big players in automotive shopping behaviors. So it's good to know that we use those and utilize them. So now, from all of this that you've seen, people using notifications and actually taking advantage of them, what results have you seen from adopting these notifications and using them to the fullest of their capabilities?
Shawnee, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Sure, sure. I just want to know.
I kind of had an internet hiccup here. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. Just want to know what results have you seen from dealers adopting the notifications and using them to their fullest capability.
So that's a great question. And what happens is that what we try to do that a lot of these tools, especially notifications and customers, is really a great tool for a BDC department. And as I kind of hinted upon, when we're working with a couple dealers that have kind of installed this as part of their process, right? So along with the leads and the things that they do inside their CRM, like the follow-ups, the Dealer Inspire dashboard, they use notifications and customers to gather that context. So when there's a lead that comes in, they'll jump into the Dealer Inspire dashboard and click on customers and learn more about that person. So and then to that point too, the notifications piece that allows us that saved I don't know how many deals, but like I said, once the CRM scratches that customer from that process, there's no additional follow-up going on, right? I mean, they may get a monthly email, like from your newsletter or something along those lines, but they've kind of dropped out of that process. So the notifications tab, when that person comes back and shows interest because they've been on our website again, that that activates a whole different process and says, oh, you know what? Now what I can do is I can call up that customer and say, hey, listen, you know what? I know that you purchased somewhere else. I just want to make sure you're happy with the purchase or whatever, or now is the best time to buy your the Ford truck that you were looking at or whatever else it is. So you don't have to be creepy about it and say something like, oh, I saw you on my website, and you showed me that you bought somewhere else. Like, don't do any of that. But I mean, I think your team knows the benefit of having notification as soon as one of your customers reaches your website. I think that that right there is sold countless deals.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds like, having that wealth of information at your fingertips is, I mean, nothing but good can come from that. So now here's the
Sure.
important question. Okay. Do you have to be tied to dashboard to get these notifications? Or, do you have to be at your desk stalking your screen looking for notifications to come in?
No, what we'll do is we can set this up a couple different ways. We're very flexible, as you guys know. But SMS messaging, so like getting a text message when somebody comes back to your site, we can set that up for you to email notification. Those kind of things can all be established. And even to that point too, we can send a lead right into your CRM that says that Bruce Etzcorn had just received or went back to your site. So we can do those types of things too. And so it's kind of, you don't necessarily have to be tied right into the dashboard. We can send these things right into your CRM or even just text you if you wanted to get it that way too.
All
So
right.
very flexible. Cool.
Well,
So I'd love to show you guys what I'm talking about because I'd love to kind of just give you a visual and kind of show off this technology. If you're ready, Shawnee, I'd love to just do that.
okay.
So yeah, just make me the presenter and I'll take care of that.
You should be the presenter.
Cool. All right. Hopefully everybody can see my screen here. Can you see me?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So what I've done is I've kind of just this is the typical when you come into the dashboard.dealerinspire.com, you will see that we start off with the summary tab here, right? So what we're really talking about today is this notifications area. So if I click on that, what I'll end up doing is pulling up all of the different notifications. So this is every customer that's returned to my site. So they filled out a lead, and now they're back on my website. So you can kind of see what's happening here. So we show you the name. So Fabio had returned to the site. He's a return visitor. He doesn't have an intensity score. He's only been here one time. Paula, though, she's been here 6 times, and she's got an intensity score of 2. So this is that Dadium piece that I was talking about, where we say, hey, Dadium, where is this person in the buying cycle, right? If they're a 5, that means they've done all of their research. They're really shopping price and availability at this point and really want to make that thing happen. If they're a 1 or they don't have a score, then 1, 2, or 3, you may have to kind of hold their hand a little bit and kind of be a little bit less aggressive, and maybe more resourceful and kind of more informative to them. So, but like a 4 or 5, 3, 4, or 5, I mean, this person, you might want to try to be aggressive. It's like, now's the time to buy. And that's how we get this information from Dadium. And then to that point too, so we've got some people who have been here 11 times. So this guy's really actively shopping. So, yeah. So if I was to like for instance James Bradford here, he's got an intensity score of 5, right? Like this guy is legit. We want to make sure that we communicate to this guy. So if I saw this as a BDC representative, I might want to say, hey, listen, you know what? Let's call up James right now. But let's go ahead and view him first. So let's click on view. So what happens then, you might notice this too, that it drops to customers. So this is that area where I was talking about getting more context around a lead, right? So here's what I can show. I see he's been here 5 times, right? So here's the last 4 visits that we have from him. So he started his process on December 29th, and it looks like he's looking for trucks, right? So he's kind of doing a truck search. So, and if I was to click on this, I'd actually get right to the vehicle or the searches that he was looking for. So, and you can kind of pull that down. So we kind of segment that out for you for each one of the days, right? So along with the lead that we sent to your CRM, what we're doing behind the scenes is we're scrubbing the public web and we're saying, hey, is this person, what do you know about this guy? So we know that he's a male. We don't have his age range here. This is from our system, right? So we show you the last 4 visits. And then what we do is we ask Dadium and say, hey, Dadium, what do you know about this guy? Well, they said that this guy is a 5 out of 5. It's the highest that you could possibly have as far as Dadium goes. So his probability to buy is very, very good. And then so he entered the marketplace in 12/29, right? Well, that correlates to the day that we saw him here. So, and then he was last seen on 12/31, so by Dadium, but we have some additional information on him too. So we see that he's still actively kind of going to the site as of last week. And then here's the other things that Dadium provides for us is the top 3 vehicles. So we have 2. He was looking at an Equinox, right? And so he's kind of looking around, the $22,000 mark. But along with this, so he has some social networks to share too. So if I click on this, it's going to open up his page in Facebook. So James hides and protects his social information inside of Facebook. So you'll see this. So this isn't very valuable to you, right? Because I go, oh, well, I don't know what James is sharing with the world, which the answer is nothing. He doesn't have Twitter. He doesn't have any of these other pieces here. So, but like let's kind of jump into somebody else here, right? So like for instance, like Alina here, right? So she's been to the website 10 times here. She's got a probability of 1 to 5. But look at her social information here. So she's obviously on Facebook. She's got a Twitter profile, and then Clout, which we hit upon. You guys may not be familiar with this, but what Clout does is it kind of aggregates all of the social channels out there. So if I have a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these different things can be connected to your Clout, and what Clout does is it generates a score. So she's got a Clout score of 15. I think the average Clout score for the average social media person is 25. So she's a little bit below on average as far as what she is social. But here's the thing that she's influential about. So she obviously likes Trey songs. She's Weber State University. She likes music. So there's things like this that you can kind of learn about her, right? And even to that point too, so we can kind of click on these things too. So you can kind of get, more information about, she doesn't protect her page here. So we've got more information, kind of on these pieces here too. So, so this is kind of how this whole pieces kind of pulls together, and that's kind of how the notifications and customers kind of relate together. And this is I think that your BDC department can obviously see some value in having additional context into this too, because you can, if you knew that what this person was looking at, and they were, they're influential about rap music and things like this, then you can find somebody in your dealership to pair them with that that might be into very similar interests, like if they're into camping and things like this. With a lot of manufacturers like Chevy, it's kind of all over the board, but like Subaru, for instance, like these people are very outdoorsy. They're influential about camping. They're pets. They love pets. I mean, there's things like this that you can start learning from just having that aggregate of social channels and that additional context to the lead.
All right. My, you are a font of information, Bruce.
I could keep going too, but I want to make sure. I know everybody else has got things to do, so.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I noticed, like, so, one of the things is to not be afraid that this is stalking, right? There's good stalking, and then there's bad stalking. This is the good
Well,
stalking. This is all to help you generate leads and make sales, right?
I don't really like the stalking term, but I mean, yes, some people will think this is creepy. Like, oh my God, what you're doing, you're creeping my Facebook and doing all these things, whatever. Well, honestly, that information is out there. So I'm not doing anything else that anybody, this information is public, right? So if I went to Twitter and if I found one of our customers that tweeted something, well, obviously all the information is public. So what we're doing is trying to just kind of pull that in and kind of attach it to the leads so that you can find that information quicker. So we're not doing anything creepy by any means. It's just like when you see it together like this, people are like, wow, that's there's either two camps. They're like, wow, this is amazing. This is so beneficial and useful, which that should be the camp you're in. And then there's other people who don't quite understand it and they get afraid of it and they say, I feel like this is very creepy. So, but you know what? A lot of times the people who think that it's creepy, they kind of turn around once they can see that there's a lot of value in this.
All right. Well, thank you. That's a very good point. That yeah, this information is public. So very excellent point. Excellent point. Um, so just so I make just to make sure we have a few takeaways from here, and feel free to interrupt me or correct me, or let me know if I need to say something else. But one of the things about notifications, why it's so important, that it gives you an edge on your customers' needs. Okay, it's really crazy simple to access your notifications so that you're ready at a moment's notice, and it helps you maximize finding the right salesman for the customer, right? So all those things kind of uh, add on to each other to help make the sale, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's exactly right.
Woohoo! Nailed it. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bruce, for taking the time to speak with us. I know you have a very busy schedule and all, so
No problem.
especially getting
It's,
prepped for NADA.
that's right. So if you guys are going to NADA, please see us. I believe our booth number is 6858W.
W.
I say W, but I gotta get used to W. So
W.
W.
W. I wanted to kind of before I leave, I wanted to reach out to the audience and ask if there was any questions or something that wasn't clear, something else that you wanted to maybe kind of hit upon or see.
All
All
good.
good here, I hear.
What would
So,
you suggest
ah,
best way to use
cool.
Bruce?
Yes.
What would you suggest is the best way to use this on a dealership level?
Bill, do you have a BDC?
No.
No? Okay. So what I would probably recommend then too is maybe putting this at your sales, giving this to your sales team and kind of pulling this together. Because what's happening then is that a BDC department, this is really useful, right? Because I mean that's kind of what they're focused on is really kind of managing these leads as quickly as possible and getting the correct information to the person, right? So, but beyond that, right? So a lot of CRMs or BDCs can use templated emails, like hey, welcome to our dealership. Here's what you can see, and maybe has a value proposition. But now you can use this little bit of information if you take the 5 minutes or 3 minutes even, just to look and see if there's any social profiles or anything like that. Now you can get like speak to them at their level, right? Like maybe change the verbiage or the language that you use a little bit and just kind of you know, take that extra opportunity. And that's kind of how I would pull this together. But if you don't have a BDC, what I would recommend is maybe having your sales team, maybe a few people in your sales team say, hey, listen, we've got this extra tool why don't you take a look at it and see if it's value or adds value to your follow-up process, and kind of pulling it in together there. And to that point, Bill, if you wanted to have additional logins for the dashboard, just notify us and we can set that up. They'll get an automated email right to their email address. It'll say, hey, you've been requested to be added to the Dealer Inspire dashboard. Click here to set your password. They'll click a link, and it's all secure. We wouldn't have any passwords and things like that on our side, so that they can kind of go ahead and set that up. So, and we can do that for you very quickly.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Thanks for the question, Bill. Any other questions?
I was just going to add to that. This is Ben Blanco with Andy Moore Automotive. Hi, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Hey,
Ben.
Ben.
Hey, I was just going to add to that, too. Our Chevy store, they use that profile information, and sometimes they'll actually send a little bit of segmentation. So they'll send an email specifically to what that customer is in the market for. So if we notice that they're looking at a truck, right, then we will try to send a truck offer to them via email. It's like a little nudge, if you will. And I know that takes a lot of steps to get to that point, but it's a nice little nudge to let them know that we have something for them. And then hopefully you have some tracking in that email, but then you can track the click back to your website and see if they engage a little bit more. So it's really, really powerful when you can start putting all those connections together. You can start to see those little nudges start to have an impact. So, and then you can follow that email up with a phone call maybe an hour or two later and see where we're at in that process. So just want to get some feedback on that.
And hey, Ben, just you may not know the answer to this, but to that point where what we're seeing across the board is that this kind of saves some deals where in instances with the CRM they were scratched in the CRM. And
Right.
Have you seen any response to that at all?
I have not yet. I did invite some of my BDC guys onto here, but unfortunately they're all off today. So
Cool.
they have fill-in today, so unfortunately they couldn't make it. But I'll see if I can get an answer to that. I don't want to say anything definitively yet. I don't want to say something I'm not sure about. So,
I
but it's a
gotcha.
good question. I'll ask it. So
Cool. Well, that's awesome.
good stuff.
All right.
All right.
Anything else? We're all ready. We're all here. Let's keep Bruce. Any other questions? All right. Well, Bruce, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much for telling us all about notifications and giving us so much information.
No problem. And this is just a very small piece of a much bigger puzzle. So, many of these tools here that just kind of just ties in, a lot of the other things that we're doing in the Dealer Inspire dashboard. It's just what we're doing is we're really focusing on trying to sell more cars, right? We want to give you the tools that kind of help facilitate that. And notifications is often one that's I don't want to say ignored, but it should be kind of paid attention to more. So that's kind of why it's the kickoff for our DI How Do I presentation.
All right.
So cool.
Well,
I appreciate
Thank you.
everybody's time.
Okay. So sorry, Bill. Did you have a question?
Oh, I did, so thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as Bruce mentioned, this is a smaller piece. So we're going to be doing more of these webinars. You can always check us out at www.dealerinspire.com and just tack on DI How Do I at the end. I don't know how savvy you guys are. Do you have /DI How Do I? Or you could send me a tweet and kind of get an idea of what we'll be doing next. We have a whole lot of stuff planned and a whole lot of information to impart. So you guys will be all set. You'll be extremely knowledgeable in the DI dashboard and Dealer Inspire and what we do. So I'm pretty sure this link will be up soon. It'll be up within 24 hours on the page. So keep an eye out for it. Once again, I am Shawnee, the trainer of technologies for innovative dealers such as yourself, and I hope to speak with you all soon. Thanks a lot.